My son Adrian has a secret. I can tell by the wry smile on his face. I can tell by the way he's always in a good mood as the rest of us seem to slog through our days. But like the cat who swallowed the canary, he won't tell us what the secret is. Now, Adrian's 19 now. When he was 18 months, he was diagnosed with autism. But fear not, this is not a sob story, because sob stories do not contain plot twists like the ones you're about to hear. So, when Adrian was in 5th grade, his mom was approached by a fellow mom who said to her, "You know what my son told me? The most popular kid in the 5th grade is Adrian Yaz, because he's always nice to everyone and he's always in a good mood." And at first we thought, it's a very nice thing to say to a family with a special needs son. But then I thought a little closer about what actually she had said, the most popular kid in the 5th grade. Now, I don't know what you remember about the 5th grade, but I remember that I would have traded my entire album of baseball cards just to get a couple notches higher on the popularity ladder. And somehow, Adrian had figured this out. So what was it? Was it one of his talents? Because like some people with autism, Adrian has savant talents. He has an encyclopedic memory of music. And I'm not talking about just the kind of memory that I have, like to be able to tell you what the second song on the second side of Billy Joel's 52nd Street album was, Zanzibar, of course. No, I'm talking about, like, if you say, Adrian, give me a song from 2006 that charted in the top 100 that begins with the letter B, he'll land it. I can't. He also is amazing with directions. So I'll put him up against Waze, Google Maps, bring it on. He'll beat him 100 times out of 100, right down to the exit on Route 152 in North Grafton, he'll know. No, but I think it's actually something else. I think it's something about his nature. So let me tell you another story. A couple years ago, I took Adrian to the movies, and right after we went through the turnstiles, I lost track of him. And so, of course, the parental panic kicks in right away. Can't find where he is. So for the next harrowing 10 minutes, I'm frantically trying to find Adrian. Turns out he just walked into the wrong movie theater. By the time we located him, brought him back, I calmed myself down. I said, Adrian, you can't walk away from me like that. I couldn't find you. I couldn't find you. Calmed down, got into the correct movie theater, and before the movie started, Adrian got a big smile on his face, started laughing. It's like, excuse me, Adrian, what are you laughing at? And he looks at me and he says, I couldn't find you. I couldn't find you. This mock sadness. He's making fun of his dad. But what he had done was turn a potentially horrible memory into a great one. He saw humor in it. And that's the way he's wired. He's not wired to worry about a small thing like going into the wrong movie theater for a couple minutes. He's not wired to worry about the things that we do, like traffic and deadlines. He doesn't get pissed off on something he reads on social media. More on that later. He's not afraid of the dark because he doesn't bother to speculate as to what might be lurking in the dark. What would be the point of that, right? So the way it came around to the fact that we thought, Adrian, maybe there's something in that we could all use today. So 1 in 66 kids have autism now. There's no secret that there's been a spike. 1 in 42 boys are born somewhere on the autism spectrum. And the question looms, why? Well, most experts agree that historical underdiagnosis is the big reason. We used to define autism very narrowly, and now we know that it's not. But there's another reason out there. And if you hear it's because of vaccines or food additives or mercury or any nonsense like that, please dismiss those. They're all baloney. But there might be another reason. The question I like to kick around in my head is, what if it's evolution? What if Adrian's brain has evolved to a point that actually might benefit us in the future? Now, sure, now he needs a lot of help, but maybe in the future, something going on in his brain could help us. I mean, think about it. How often these days are we consumed by our passions, our emotions, our opinions? How often would you like to reboot your brain? How often would you like to hit Control-Alt-Delete on your brain and just kind of start over? Maybe that's what's going on here. You know, there's a concept called neurodiversity. We all know what diversity and diversity in the workplace is. Neurodiversity suggests that differences in neurological differences in people should be respected and valued and not thought of as a disorder. So someone with autism is actually thought of much differently by someone who believes in this neurodiversity. In fact, the neurodiversity absolutist would say, stop trying to find the cause for autism because we need people with autism. The former CEO of Walgreens, Randy Lewis, might have stumbled upon the concept of neurodiversity many years ago when he pledged to hire people in Walgreens, so much so that he could create 10% of the workplace consisting of people with disabilities and challenges. And what Lewis found was, not only was it celebrated among his workers, but productivity and efficiency actually went up at Walgreens. What was going on there? You know, is it possible that the people that he hired had somehow lifted up the others? But how? Well, if you're a fan of the HBO TV show True Detective, first season, second season was no good. But first season, you'll recall that Matthew McConaughey plays a detective named Rusty Cole, who's a nihilist. I don't know too much about nihilism, but I think it means that they think everything that happens on the planet Earth kind of just doesn't matter at all. So in a particular moment of reflection, the Matthew McConaughey character says, I believe that human consciousness is... All right, let me get it right. I believe that human consciousness is a tragic misstep in our evolution. We became too self-aware. So it's a character, right? Is it possible? Is it possible that we've become too captive to our emotions, our passions? Is it possible that something's going on in Adrian's brain that we could take value from? Think about it. Think about social media. We drown in social media, right? We're consumed by our opinions, especially these days in this country, right? The words trolls, online bullying, and things like this, we didn't used to have to talk about these things, and now we're talking about them all the time. And yet once in a while, something on social media actually might inspire us, and it might be about someone with a challenge or a disability that accomplishes something great. The headline always says, faith in humanity restored, right? Could it be that Adrian's secret is as simple as that? Could it be it's simple as, chill out everyone, it's not that bad. We've been worried this whole time about what the spike in autism, where it comes from, and maybe we've been asking ourselves the wrong question. Maybe the right question is it necessarily a bad thing? So if nothing else, I'd like to think that when we talk about autism spectrum disorder, that the focus is a lot less on disorder and a lot more on spectrum, meaning there is a broad spectrum of people that think very differently than us. And maybe on some days, that's exactly what we need. Thank you.